Hell isn't a metaphor, it's a literal place. It's mentioned in the Bible. Oh, you're using the book of Matthew. That was the word Gehenna translated from Hebrew into English. That's a literal place. Okay, so it's a literal place, just like I said. Right, Gehenna wasn't a great place. It was actually a valley in Israel where Jerusalem used it as like a dump. So they set everything on fire. Some people actually practiced child sacrifice there too, so. You're telling me the word was just actually a real place on earth? I was telling the people about it, and it was on fire.
When Jesus talked about hell or Gehenna, was he referring to nothing more than a local burning garbage dump? Well, that's the claim in this video, but there are some serious problems. Let's pull out the red pen and take a look. First, despite what you may have heard preached from the pulpit, there isn't any credible evidence that Gehenna was a burning garbage dump in Jesus' day. In fact, scholars have traced the origin of this claim to Rabbi David Kimchi around AD 1200. So the earliest references to the valley being a burning garbage dump come 1,000 years after Jesus. So then, if it's not referring to a burning dump, what is Jesus referring to? This leads to the second point. The historical evidence suggests that in the time between the Testaments, the word Gehenna arose as a reference to future divine punishment by alluding to the prophetic judgment scenes in the Old Testament that take place at the Valley of Hinnom. The Valley of Hinnom was a literal place where the Israelites sacrificed their children in the fire to Molech. In response, God pronounces terrible judgment on Israel. As a result, the valley became associated with divine judgment. So Jesus' hearers understood him to be talking about God's future judgment. Third, Jesus speaks of Gehenna as a punishment after death. He says, I tell you, my friends, do not fear those who can kill the body, and after that have nothing more that they can do. But I will warn you whom to fear. Fear him whom, after he has killed, has authority to cast into hell or Gehenna. Finally, Jesus' references to hell aren't limited to his use of the word Gehenna. He says that there will be a final resurrection of the dead, the righteous to life, and the unrighteous to judgment. He warns of eternal fire, weeping and gnashing of teeth, and eternal punishment. So even if the video was right about Gehenna, it wouldn't take away from Jesus' warnings about the reality of future punishment after death.